All right, so are you ready to dive into these 15 habits of the rich and successful?
Yeah, definitely. We're all a little curious about what makes those high achievers tick, right?
Totally. We'll break it down, the source material. See if we can steal some of their secret.
I wouldn't call it stealing secrets, more like uncovering the principles behind their success.
Okay, I like that. So less about copying, more about understanding their mindset.
Exactly. And it's funny, you mentioned secrets. It's not about some hidden formula.
Yeah, it's more about consistent habits and strategic thinking, right?
Right. And a lot of these habits are things anyone can implement.
Cool. So let's jump into what's the first habit that caught your eye?
Well, the one that always gets people talking is waking up early. The source mentions some seriously early birds like Tim Cook at 4:30 a.m., Indra Nooyi at 4:30 a.m., even Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson at 3:30 a.m.
Wow. Do these people even sleep?
They probably get less than the average person. But the key takeaway here isn't the specific time. It's about understanding the why behind the early wake-up.
So it's not about torturing ourselves with early mornings, it's about leveraging those quiet hours.
Exactly. They're using that time when the world is quiet for focused work, strategic planning, personal development, before the chaos of the day hits.
So it's about creating a space for intentional action, capitalizing on those peak productivity hours, fewer distractions.
Right. It's like a secret weapon for getting ahead.
I can see the appeal, but I'm not sure I'm ready to give up my sleep just yet.
And you don't have to. It's about finding what works for you. Maybe shifting your wake-up time by just 30 minutes.
Okay, that sounds more manageable. What could I do with those extra 30 minutes?
Exercise, meditate, work on a side project, maybe even squeeze in some reading. Speaking of which, the source highlights how much the wealthy prioritize reading. Bill Gates reportedly reads 50 books a year.
50 books a year. That's incredible. I can barely get through my email inbox in a day.
Right, it's a commitment. But what's interesting is what Gates reads and how he approaches it. He focuses on diverse topics, history, science, biographies.
So it's not just about quantity, it's about quality too, expanding your horizons.
Yeah, it's about gaining a broader perspective, extracting mental models from different fields.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like reading becomes a tool for growth.
Exactly. And he doesn't just passively read, he actively engages with the material, takes notes, highlights key passages, reflects on how it applies to his life.
Turning reading into an active learning experience. I like that. But what about those of us who struggle to finish one book a month?
Start small. Even 10 pages a day adds up. That's like 10, 12 books a year.
Okay, that feels more achievable. And maybe choose books that genuinely interest me.
Right, absolutely. Find something that sparks your curiosity, that makes you want to keep learning.
Okay, so we've got waking up early, strategic reading. What's the next habit on our list?
This one's all about setting goals, but not just any goals. The source emphasizes SMART goals.
SMART goals, I've heard of those, but for those who haven't, let's break it down.
Sure. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Okay? It's about being super clear and intentional with your objectives.
Right. Moving beyond vague aspirations and creating concrete action plans.
So instead of saying, I want to be successful, you'd say something like, I want to launch my own online business and generate $10,000 in monthly revenue within the next year.
Exactly. You've taken a general desire and made it specific, measurable, and time-bound. Now you can break it down into smaller, actionable steps.
I'm starting to see how this all ties together, turning those big dreams into tangible plans.
And that's a key element of success, taking those dreams and making them actionable.
Awesome. Okay, I'm ready for the next habit. What's up next?
All right, this one might surprise you. It's exercise.
Exercise. I'm intrigued. What does hitting the gym have to do with building wealth?
It's not about aesthetics. It's about the impact on your energy focus, overall well-being. The source mentions Jeff Bezos squeezing in morning workouts, and Richard Branson saying exercise gives him 4 extra productive hours daily.
So they're not just trying to look good, they're using exercise to enhance their performance.
Exactly. Exercise improves cognitive function, reduces stress, increases energy levels. It's like investing in your mental and physical capital.
I see. So it's not just about building biceps, it's about building a foundation for success.
Exactly. And that foundation can help you achieve your financial goals.
Okay, starting to see how these habits are all connected. Okay, what's next?
This one's all about networking, but it's more than just attending cocktail parties.
Okay, so it's strategic networking, building relationships that matter.
Right. It's about surrounding yourself with people who can inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth. The source mentions Elon Musk, Larry Page, Jeff Bezos brainstorming together.
Wow. Yeah, and it highlights Oprah Winfrey's empire built partly on the strength of her connections.
Exactly. So it's not just about what you know, it's about who you know.
But for those of us who aren't hanging out with billionaires, how do we build those connections?
You don't need exclusive access. Just be proactive. Join industry groups, attend conferences, connect with people on LinkedIn, reach out to people you admire.
It's about putting yourself out there, building genuine connections.
And remember, networking is a two-way street. Be genuine, offer value, build authentic relationships.
It's about creating mutually beneficial connections. Got it. Okay, what's next?
This one might seem a bit less tangible, but it's incredibly powerful: gratitude.
Gratitude, that sounds a bit fluffy. How does being thankful translate to financial success?
It's not about denying challenges. It's about intentionally focusing on what you have, what you've accomplished, the positive aspects of your life.
Okay, so shifting your perspective.
Right. It creates a sense of abundance, which can open you up to new opportunities and possibilities.
So it's about seeing the glass half full, and that can actually influence your actions and decisions.
Exactly. It can change your whole approach to life and business.
Okay, I'm willing to give it a try. What are some practical ways to cultivate gratitude?
The source mentions Oprah Winfrey keeping a gratitude journal. Tony Robbins starts each day by acknowledging 3 things he's grateful for. Even successful investors use gratitude to navigate tough times.
It's about making gratitude a habit, not just something you think about once in a while.
Exactly. It's about training your mind to focus on the positive.
Okay, I'm starting to see a pattern here. A lot of these habits are about mindset as much as action.
You're absolutely right. It's about cultivating the right mental framework for success.
So it's not just about what you do, it's about how you think.
Exactly. It's about developing the mindset of a successful person.
I like that. So we've covered waking up early, strategic reading, smoke goals, exercise, networking, and gratitude. What's next on our millionaire habit list?
So we were talking about gratitude and how powerful that can be.
Right, like it's not just a feel-good thing, it can actually impact your success.
Exactly, and that ties into the next habit, time optimization.
Time optimization. Okay, so how are these successful people squeezing more out of their day?
Well, they're super intentional about how they spend their time. You know, like Mark Cuban, he's known for running super efficient meetings.
Short and to the point, no time for chit-chat.
Exactly. And Elon must have strict rules for email and social media, to minimize distractions.
It's about cutting out the noise and focusing on what matters.
Right. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter.
Okay, so for someone like me who feels like I'm constantly drowning in to-dos, where do I even begin with this whole time optimization thing?
Start by identifying your biggest time wasters. Maybe it's social media, maybe it's mindless internet browsing.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that.
Or maybe it's saying yes to too many commitments, things that don't really align with your goals.
Yeah, that's a good time. I need to learn to say no more often.
Definitely. And the source suggests setting time limits for those time-wasting activities, or even better, replacing them with something productive.
So instead of scrolling through Instagram for an hour, I could be working on my side hustle.
Exactly. Or reading a book, or even just getting a good night's sleep.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all fits together. All right, what's the next habit?
This one might seem a bit intimidating. Calculated risks.
Ooh, calculated risks. Okay, so we're not talking about jumping out of airplanes without a parachute.
No, not at all. It's about making informed decisions based on research, weighing the potential rewards against the downsides.
So it's about being strategic, not reckless.
Right. Think about Jeff Bezos leaving his secure job to start Amazon. Or Elon Musk with Tesla and SpaceX, back when everyone thought he was crazy.
Those are huge risks, and they obviously paid off. But how do we know when to take a leap of faith? Like, what separates a calculated risk from a bad one?
It's about assessing your own risk tolerance, doing your due diligence, having a plan to mitigate potential downsides.
So it's not just about blindly following your gut, it's about having a strategy.
Exactly. And even if things don't go perfectly, a calculated risk often leads to valuable lessons and new opportunities.
So it's about embracing the unknown and seeing risk as a potential for growth.
Right. It's about stepping outside your comfort zone and seeing what's possible.
Okay, I like that perspective. What's next on our list?
This one's all about investing, but not in the way you might think. It's about investing in yourself.
Investing in yourself. So we're not talking about stocks and bonds here?
Nope. We're talking about investing in your knowledge, your skills, your personal development. The source quotes Warren Buffett, who says, "The best investment you can make is in yourself."
Makes sense. You're essentially investing in your future earning potential and overall well-being.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that you are your most valuable asset.
Okay, so what does that look like in practice?
It could be anything from reading books and taking courses to attending conferences or hiring a coach.
So it's about prioritizing your growth.
Right. Think about Bill Gates, who dedicates Think Weeks to reading and learning, or Tony Robbins, who invests heavily in mentorship.
So it's a continuous process of learning and development.
Exactly. And it's an investment that pays dividends over time.
All right, I'm sold. What's next?
Okay. This one's about persistence through failure.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Failure is never fun.
No, it's not. But successful people view failure differently. They don't see it as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone.
Okay, so how do they bounce back from those setbacks?
They shift their mindset. Instead of seeing failure as a negative outcome, They see it as a learning opportunity.
So it's about embracing those failures and using them to grow.
Exactly. Think about Steve Jobs getting fired from Apple only to return and create some of their most iconic products.
Or J.K. Rowling with Harry Potter, getting rejected multiple times before becoming a global phenomenon.
It's about resilience and believing in your vision even when things get tough.
So it's about not giving up on your dreams.
Exactly. It's about understanding that setbacks are a part of the journey.
All right, I'm starting to see a theme here: resilience, adaptability, a willingness to learn and grow.
Absolutely. And that leads us to our next habit, diversifying income streams.
Multiple income streams. So we're talking about more than just a side hustle.
Right. It's about creating financial stability and accelerating your wealth building journey.
Okay, so how do these successful people create multiple streams of income?
The source highlights Elon Musk with his ventures in Tesla, SpaceX, and Neuralink.
Yeah, he's definitely got his fingers in a lot of pies.
And then there's Warren Buffett with his diversified investments across various industries.
So it's about not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. It's about spreading your risk and creating multiple avenues for income.
But for someone with a full-time job and family responsibilities, where do you even find the time and energy for multiple income streams?
Start small, leverage your missing skills and interests. Maybe monetize a hobby, start a freelance business, invest in rental property.
So it's about finding those opportunities that align with your lifestyle.
Exactly. And remember, it's a gradual process. You don't have to do everything at once.
Okay, so start small and build from there. Got it.
What's next? This one's about creating a strong morning routine.
Morning routines. I've heard a lot about those, but I'm not exactly a morning person.
That's okay. It's not about becoming a morning person overnight. It's about creating a routine that sets you up for success.
So what are some examples of successful morning routines?
Think about Oprah Winfrey, who starts her day with meditation and exercise. Or Tim Ferriss, who focuses on journaling and deep work before checking email.
So it's about being intentional with those first few hours of the day.
Exactly. It's about creating a series of rituals that prepare you mentally, emotionally, and physically for the day ahead.
Okay, so instead of hitting the snooze button 5 times, I should be meditating or journaling.
It's not about forcing yourself to do things you hate. It's about finding activities that energize you and help you focus.
So it's about customizing the routine to fit my needs and preferences.
Exactly. And remember, it's about consistency. The more you stick to your routine, the more powerful it becomes.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal of a well-structured morning routine. What's next on our list?
So, we've been talking about all these different habits, and it's really about putting the pieces together, right?
Yeah, it's like building this framework for success, brick by brick.
Exactly. And one of the most important bricks is financial awareness.
Okay, financial awareness. So we're not just talking about checking our bank balance once a month.
Right. It's about knowing where your money is going, having a budget, tracking your investments.
So it's about being proactive with your finances, not just letting things happen.
Exactly. The source contrasts the way many people avoid finances with the meticulous tracking that wealthy individuals do.
Interesting. So they're not just winging it, they're paying attention to the details.
Exactly. It's about taking control rather than burying your head in the sand.
Okay, so what does that meticulous tracking actually look like?
It could be as simple as using a budgeting app or a spreadsheet or even just a notebook. The key is to know where your money is going.
So you can make informed decisions about spending and saving.
Right. Source quotes Grant Cardone, who says, if you don't know where your money is going, you'll always be broke.
That's a pretty powerful statement. Makes you think.
It's about taking ownership of your financial situation.
Okay, I'm starting to see how important this is. All right, what's the next habit on our list?
This one's about continuous skill development. The source emphasizes that successful people are always learning.
Yeah, the world is changing so fast, it's like you have to constantly be upskilling to stay relevant.
Exactly. It's about being adaptable and embracing lifelong learning.
But how do they find the time? Everyone's so busy these days.
They make it a priority. They carve out time for reading, taking courses, attending conferences, finding mentors.
So it's about investing in yourself, recognizing that knowledge is power.
Exactly. Think about Elon Musk. He's known for teaching himself complex subjects like coding and rocket science.
Wow, yeah, he's definitely a self-starter. But for those of us who aren't building rockets, what are some practical ways to keep learning and growing?
Start by identifying the skills that are most in demand in your field or the career you want to pursue.
So tell your research and figure out what skills will give you an edge.
Right? And then there are tons of resources available, online courses, workshops, books. You can learn almost anything these days.
Okay, it's about being proactive and taking ownership of your development.
Exactly. And remember, it's an ongoing process. The learning never really stops.
Okay, I'm ready for the final habit. What is it?
This one might seem obvious, but it's crucial action.
Action. Okay, so we're talking about actually doing the things, not just thinking about them.
Exactly. The source highlights how decisive, successful individuals are. You know, they take action even when they're not sure or a little afraid.
So it's about overcoming that fear and just going for it.
Right? It's about turning those ideas into reality.
But how do they do that? Sometimes it's so easy to get stuck in analysis paralysis.
They break things down into smaller steps, and they focus on taking consistent action, even if it's just one small step each day.
So it's about making progress, not perfection.
Exactly. And they're not afraid to adjust course along the way. It's an iterative process.
So it's about being flexible and adapting as you go.
Right? And remember, action creates momentum. The more you do, the more confident you become.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. So there you have it. 15 Habits of the Rich and Successful. Not some magic formula, but a set of principles and actions that anyone can adopt.
Exactly. It's about being intentional with your time, your energy, your mindset. It's about making choices that support your goals.
And it's about taking action, putting in the work.
Absolutely. Success isn't just going to fall into your lap. You have to create it.
Well said. I think we've covered a lot of ground today. Any final thoughts?
Just remember that these habits are a starting point. It's about finding what works for you and adapting them to your own life and goals.
It's about taking these principles and making them your own.
Exactly. And remember, the journey is just as important as the destination.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today for this deep dive into the habits of the rich and successful. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and inspiration.
It's been a pleasure. Until next time, keep striving, keep learning, and keep growing.
And keep unlocking your potential. We'll see you next time. I'm a C09.